SystemeIO. When you want to use JavaScript to modify a text element, for example, to add the current date to the page, a common problem arises. There's a flash at the beginning of the page display. JavaScript modifies the text and adds the date, but there's a slight delay before this modification is visible. First you see the original sentence, then a few milliseconds later the date appears. Another problem may arise. After changing the date, the original sentence returns a second later. These problems can disrupt the display, and we often wonder why it doesn't work as expected. This video explains how to permanently correct these problems and provide a stable solution. The idea is to avoid any visible flash by modifying both the HTML code and the way SystemeIO uses JavaScript. SystemeIO works in two parts. First, the HTML code, then the JavaScript engine that manages interactivity. The problem arises when the JavaScript engine takes a while to launch, leaving the original content to appear for a second or two. To solve this, we need to act directly on the HTML code before the JavaScript engine comes into play. The solution is to make the JavaScript engine believe that the modification, such as adding the date, has already been made. This way, when JavaScript comes into play, it doesn't have to change anything, or it only corrects details without touching the modified text. This approach eliminates the initial flash and ensures smooth content updating. In the case of adding the date, we start by writing the sentence with a space reserved for the date. JavaScript then replaces this space with the real date when the page is loaded. If you look at the page source code, you'll see that SystemeIO uses variables in the HTML code that the JavaScript engine then replaces. These variables often include reserved spaces, as with the date. To prevent the original sentence from reappearing, these variables must be modified directly in the HTML code and in the variable used by the JavaScript engine. This enables JavaScript to recognize the sentence already modified and avoid having to return to the original version. The process involves modifying both the HTML content and the JavaScript variable called window preloaded state. This variable contains all the page information, including the text to be displayed. By modifying these two elements before the JavaScript engine is launched, we ensure that the page directly displays the modified version with the current date. This works not only for text, but also for other elements such as images or buttons.